Hello, 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 hello. Hello, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Lagos Youth Show on Lagos Television. And as you know, as usual, this is that one show where we give you everything as it relates to young people in Lagos State. Of course, we bring to you the beautiful energy of our young people from Ikeja, going down to the beautiful, amazing minds from Badagry, embracing the beautiful energy from our young people in Ikorodu, not forgetting the tech-savvy minds and extraordinary, young personalities we have from Lagos Island, down to our lovely, energetic youth in Ekpe. All of that we bring to you in one show, one stop, one conversation. And of course, this episode promises to be an exciting one that it's going to be one of those that you've never. And of course, as usual, I'm going to be doing this alone. Tosin is not here with me, but anyway, it's good. But nonetheless, it's going to be a beautiful show as we're going to be having an interesting conversation, particularly as it relates to the big deal, unemployment in Lagos State. So yeah, stay with us. Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, our guests will be joining us. Yes, it's still the Lagos Youth Show, and as usual, I told you we'll be having our guests join us on the conversation of unemployment. First thing first, let's even look at it, looking at it from a broad view. Currently in Lagos, there's a popular ranking that states that Lagos State at the moment currently has the lowest rank in terms of unemployment in Nigeria. But of course, we can't change the fact that there are still a lot of feasible gaps, particularly as it regards to the area of unemployability. Of course, we know that the rise of technology have come into play, and that has actually affected a large pool of young people, particularly those that are not educated, away from the unemployment and the job market, right? And all of these factors are part of the key things responsible for some of the declining issues we are facing with the issue of unemployment in Lagos State. But to diving into that conversation, as we're going to be navigating through the waters of unemployment in Lagos State, we have some interesting guests with us here at the studio that is going to be looking at the conversation from two interesting angles. One, from a public sector point of view, and also from the private sector perspective. So yes, we have our guests joining us in the studio. First, we have no other person but Honorable Sahid Tijani, who is the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor on Wealth Creation and Employment, looking at the perspective from the public sector. And also, we also have Ola Oluwashola joining us as a media and communications brand strategist that is going to be diving on the conversation from the private sector angle. It's good to have you guys here, and I'm super excited as well as we dive in. Unemployment is an interesting conversation in Nigeria, and I'm pretty much sure that there's a lot of angles to it, and it'll be interesting to see you guys drop your thoughts on the conversation. Right? Great to have you. Great to have you.
Thank you.
So let's just go straight into it, right? I would like to hear from your thoughts, Honorable Said. Everybody's saying, there is a case issue of unemployment, there's an issue. But I'd like to hear from your thoughts, considering that you're already doing a lot in that area, particularly in Lagos State. What do you think are those feasible, or what do you think is the current state of unemployment or employment generally in Lagos State from your perspective, based on the quality of work that you do as the Senior Special Assistant to the Governor?
Well, thank you for giving me this platform to talk about an issue that has been at the forefront of a state discourse, like the issue of unemployment in Lagos State. And firstly, I must put it across that Governor Babajide Olushola Sanwo-Olu, right from the first term in office, has not taken the issue of unemployment lightly. And that is why you have seen so many initiatives of the government. They are tilted towards fighting and reducing unemployment rates in Lagos State. And particularly my ministry, the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment. we have taken the issue of unemployment seriously in the ministry, and we are carrying out a whole lot of initiatives to make sure that the rate of unemployment reduce drastically. And we are not doing that alone. We are also going into series of collaborations with the private sector. For instance, as at yesterday, the governor launched the 500 billion naira project for Produce for Lagos initiative to make sure that our farmers are supported to plant whatever they can market, and Lagos will buy from them directly and distribute to a whole lot of across the country. Such type of initiatives will create a lot of employment across the agricultural value chain. From the ministry, we have also taken it upon ourselves to make sure that when graduates, when they're about leaving the university, we train them on what we call employability skills, so that they can fit into the society seamlessly. And apart from that, from the ministry, we have also coined a program which we tag Eco Skills Development Initiative, which is operation acquire at least 2 skills, so that young people will not be dependent on white collar job alone. So they can be able to use their bare hands to do something for themselves and be gainfully employed. And the gimmick about that is that while we achieve such type of program, we'll be creating more of employers of labor than job seekers.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like the perspective, and it's quite interesting that the governor is doing a whole lot. I mean, I expect that. I mean, Lagos State, that's why the number is quite interesting. You can't compare it with other states. But let me hear from you, Mr. Olushola. I'd like to hear from a private sector perspective as to what you think the current state of employment is in Lagos State, and I would like you to be as practicable as possible, right?
Thank you for the question. So unemployment is a big issue, right?
Yeah.
But also another issue is employability, right? So when it comes to the conversation of unemployment, there are 2 sides. Are there jobs? The other side is the people who want these jobs, are they able to perform on these jobs? So there's the side where employers of labor are complaining that it's difficult to find good talent. Then young people, recent graduates are saying it's hard to find a job. So that's where we need to find what is the real problem, right? So I believe, of course, when it comes to unemployment, we always say it is knowledge and skills. So for the young people who are looking for jobs, do they have the requisite knowledge, right? Do they have the right skills? And of course, the government side is creating those opportunities for young people to acquire those skills.
I like the fact that you pointed out the fact that it's about knowledge and skills, balancing both. But you mentioned some critical challenges, and I would like Honorable Said to address that too as well. Most of the time, people tend to paint it that when it comes to particularly the affairs of the government contribution in tackling unemployment, it's systematic, right? So I would like to hear from your angle. Like, what do you think are those challenges? What is your struggle, particularly with young people? Because a large pool of young people now want to go into cybercrime and many other social vices and issues that we face along the line. So how are you guys really, really engaging, young people, and how are you sure of the quality of the programs that you are designing for young people as employment is concerned?
Oh, thank you for that question. Firstly, I think as a grassroots person, one of the major problems is that we must continue to sensitize young people to leave this idea of na lie when it comes to the issue of government. They must first believe in government and the policies of government. Before my appointment as the SSA to the governor on wealth creation, most people will always tell me whenever the government is about rolling out programs, they'll say, now there are people then go give. So, but immediately I got into the ministry, I have seen people who have shared testimonies of seeing government programs online, and they applied and they benefited. So what we are trying to do is to make sure that those who share such testimonies will be used to convince others who do not believe government is really doing a lot. Apart from our ministry, there are other ministries that are their responsibilities centers on creating job for people. In our own ministry, we have 5 job centers across the 5 divisions of Lagos State. What do they do in the job centers? The job centers welcome young people, youths who are not having jobs. They will get them registered. They would ask them the type of job they would want. We try to bring private sector into it because government cannot provide the jobs alone. The Eco Skills Initiative we're talking about, we're bringing people from the entertainment industry to come and talk about opportunities within that sector. We are bringing people from agri sector to come and open up the opportunities in that sector for young people. We're also bringing people from other sectors so that some of these opportunities will be able to link job seekers and job providers together. It is part of the responsibilities of the Ministry of Wealth Creation under the leadership of the Honorable Commissioner, Honorable Akinyemi Ajigbotafe. The reasons why the government is not joking with them is that we are also encouraging them to provide mentorship and apprenticeship for young people who are willing to acquire these skills. These are some of the efforts of the government. But we are also not limiting it to young people alone.
Okay.
We just concluded a training program for retirees that just retired from the system, so that they don't just go home and be redundant. So if you look at the approach of the Lagos State government, is an all-encompassing one. But we want to enjoin populace to continue to believe in policies of government and to continue to make sure that they delve into some of these policies, and anyone that has benefited from the policies of government should be able to help convince. Yesterday, we were listening to about 5 governors who attended the program, the 500 billion naira produced for Lagos. They were commending the government of Lagos State, and most of them keyed into this initiative, and they have promised that they were going to take it to the national, to tell the president to adopt this initiative. So if it is happening from the state of excellence, we encourage our people to appreciate the government before asking for more.
That's quite impressive. I mean, it lots to hear on all of that. Truly, the Lagos State government is putting in a lot of effort. But let's just dive into it from that. Let's really talk about job creation, because from what Honorable Said mentioned now, these are some of the feasible gaps, right? But if we don't have enough jobs, if we don't have enough systems to pull people into jobs, these same issues are going to be feasible. So what do you think are your thoughts with regards to ideas to which government can come in? Because, I mean, the government is here now. So we have an SSC governor here, so he will hear some of your comments. What do you think are those strategic interventions and ideas to which the government can deploy to enabling, a better job, opportunity for young people particularly?
Okay, so frankly, from my experience, I'll say we need to go back to education.
Okay.
And I'm saying this because along the course of our work, I was talking to a student in the US.
Wow.
She's just getting into college, right?
Okay.
College is university. And she can already tell that she wants to go into business in this industry, right?
Okay.
So you can see that there's, I don't know if it's a function of the education, but there are some people who right from their young age, they are already thinking about the ideas, the problem in a particular industry they want to solve. How many young people are thinking, I want to solve a problem in this industry? How many young people are thinking, I want to create a company or a solution to this problem that would create jobs? Most people are thinking, I want to get a good job in a big company, I want to japa, or I want to be thinking. And it comes from education. Are we teaching people really how to create ideas that become solutions, that become jobs? And that's one leg. The second leg, which is another reality, is those people who are actually now saying, let me try to create something. right? Are we enabling them? Are we creating policies that give them support, right? That allows them solve problems, that gives them facilities, opportunities, because it's difficult to run a business in Nigeria. So if you want to create opportunities, you want to create employment, you want to create jobs, if the system doesn't allow you to do it, you will be frustrated. So there are two sides to creating jobs. Let's leave the government. The government cannot do it, right? They can try, but the bulk of there are so many people. How many jobs can the government give you? But the people that are thinking, that are trying to create opportunities, that are trying to create solutions, are we encouraging them? Because the big companies start small. Do you understand? So if the very small companies, people that are thinking, cannot grow, then we can never create jobs. At least the size of jobs we need to solve the problem.
Beautiful, beautiful. I like the fact that you highlighted the angle of education. Yeah, pretty interesting. Oh yes, it's still the Lagos Youth Show, and it has been an interesting conversation so far. So let's dive into it as we continue. I would like to hear your perspective on some of the key things Mr. Oluwashola mentioned initially, particularly with governments. I know there are a lot of young people out there, and they are curious. I mean, you mentioned some of the initiatives that the government is driving, but I want you to highlight some of the few interesting opportunities with regards to job engagement, opportunities both in private partnership and also with direct government engagement that young people can jump on, that your ministry at the same time, the government is working on.
For us at the Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment, we have seen that there is a need for us to intensify effort on collaborations with private sector, and the Honorable Commissioner and the PAMSEC, they have taken it upon themselves to see how the private sector can be brought into this idea of solving the problem of unemployment. Because we know a lot of the companies and organizations, they have their CSR, and they are not actually committing them into the right channel. So one, we have identified that gap, and we are seriously working on that. And I want to expand the job fair. The last time we had the job fair in our LTV, we called for 2,005, and when we got there, we saw 6,000 people. And from that day, we decided we were going to expand that, and we are already bringing in more off-takers into the net to provide more opportunities for people. Apart from that, we are also looking, for instance, in the next 1 month, the ministry will be commissioning the industrial leather hub at Matori, Mushin. That is a gigantic initiative to make sure that the ministry, the Lagos State government, saw that within that axis, leather work experts, that is their area. So what we are trying to do is to make sure that in the nearest future, Lagos State will be the next hub for leather making. And we are also trying to see how we can go into partnership with states that are producing leather, so that they bring the raw materials down to Lagos, and people from West Africa and other African countries can also make Lagos. By so doing, we'll be creating more opportunities for our people. These are part of the initiatives that that the ministry is carrying out. And apart from that, we are also trying to see how we can expand the job centers The commissioner has saddled me with the responsibility of making sure that I reach out to the local government chairman to make sure that we expand the job centers from 5 maybe to about 20 of the old local governments, and later we now expand it to 57. That is the target. But for now, we are trying to see how we expand the job centers. By the time we expand the job centers, we'll now bring the companies around that catchment into that area. So by the time the organizations who need people that work for them, maybe as artisans, maybe as workers, will be providing those who are looking for such type of job with that opportunity, and at the same time we will be serving more or less like intermediary between the job seekers and the job providers. These are initiatives that we in the Ministry of Wealth Creation we are carrying out.
Impressive. Mr. Oluwashola, I like the fact that he has highlighted most of it, but there's something I would like for you to portray a bit more as we wrap up. You spoke about education, and I think it's really, really instrumental to the entirety of the conversation we are having today, right? What do you think are just strategic interventions we can pull into our educational system to see how it can target and help navigate young people's interest and in identifying what they really want to do? For example, just like Honorable Said mentioned, you see that there are a lot of jobs opportunities out there, particularly when it regards to hand skill jobs like that of artisans that you mentioned. But how come young people are not interested? Is it that they don't see that there are opportunities in this space, or they see it as being demeaning? So how do we navigate all of this through our educational system? I would like to hear from you on that.
Okay, so 2 things. Because you talked about the fact of people seeing some jobs as demeaning. There's the orientation side to it, right? Young people need to understand that whatever skill it is, whatever passion it is you have, right? As long as you are doing honest work, young people need to understand process, right? Which means that there are some traits that you don't become rich in the first 1-2 years, right? So generally there's a lot of orientation around creating jobs, starting businesses that people need to know. But if we are going to education, does the curriculum, because we know that most times what you study may not be what you do, does the curriculum encourage people to think about solving problems, to think independently, to think creatively? When I was in school, I went to the University of Ibadan. I know we had GS. There's a program called General Studies, right? Where no matter your course of study, you do some major courses. And I think entrepreneurship was one of them for me. I was in engineering, right? But do we have such programs where people are taught how to think around starting a business, how to think around running a business, right? And are there also programs? So we know that there are many hackathons here and there, because there are many NGOs, private sectors that try to do some of these programs. And I know many businesses that are started from such programs. So can government now do more of such programs where you force people to come to a program, a boot camp, and think about solving a problem that creates a business? So can we see more of that, so that it creates small businesses, then government now backs up those businesses so that they become, so it's both the thinking around it, the orientation, and the education.
It's beautiful. I mean, it's a lot today. I mean, if we keep the conversation going on unemployment, it won't stop, because it's a very, very diverse, angle. And I really appreciate our perspective from the government sector and also from private. It's been an interesting conversation, and it's great to have you guys. I believe a lot of young people out there took a lot from the conversation, and it's been great to have you. And that's it from the conversation, navigating the waters of employment in Lagos State. Stay with us. We'll be right back as we wrap the show. the Lagos Youth Show, and it has been an awesome conversation. I mean, we took a whole lot from the conversation. I mean, like we said initially, unemployment is a huge conversation, particularly in a state like Lagos, where we are doing, I mean, the Lagos state government in particular has been doing a lot of extraordinary and exceptional work when it comes to unemployment, and we are really super happy about the interesting numbers and how it has gotten better. We've heard from our guests. There's still a lot of work to be done, and young people need to open their mind to new opportunities that they can embrace and go back to the drawing board and see how we can get better results. On that note, it has been an awesome conversation, and we look forward to having more of this. As usual, let's not let the conversation end. You can follow us on all our social media platforms at the Lagos Youth Show on Facebook, Instagram, and X, and also at Lagos Television on Facebook, Instagram, and X. On that note, we're wrapping up the show. It's been an amazing one, and we look forward for you to keep up the energy. My name is Tosin Ikuye Menu. Keep the energy, keep the vibe, stay giddy. Peace.